Hey there and welcome. I have received for review and will show you today another Zoyi device, and I'm talking about the ZT703S. Its predecessor, the ZT702S, is a really nice example of a nice device of this scope meters category that I had here in the workbench to test. I like working with it and I have great expectations for this new and improved ZT703 model. The ZT703S has a lot of improvements. It isn't just a small upgrade. Now it features a 2-channel oscilloscope with 50 MHz analog bandwidth and a 280 megasamples per second sampling rate, instead of the previous one channel with 10 MHz and 48 megasamples per second sampling rate. And it even has a function generator, XY mode, measures, cursors, and more. On the multimeter it features now 20,000 counts instead of the previous 9,999. The display was also improved from 2.4 inches to 3.5 inches, and all of this keeping the same case size. So as you can imagine, I'm pretty pumped to test this device with you and verify if the quality and accuracy is still the same as it was on the ZT702S, so bear with me and we'll test it together top to bottom. A quick disclaimer to say that this device was sent free of charge for this review by Zoyi, but there was no payment from Zoyi to produce this video and they will see it at the same time you do. As always, I would like to thank Zoyi for their collaboration with the channel, but I would like to thank you also, my viewer that sponsored this channel by using the affiliate links on the screen or in the video description to make your purchases on AliExpress or Amazon. You pay exactly the same, but give the channel a big help with your sponsorship while using these links, that, by the way, can be used whenever you buy anything on AliExpress or Amazon, not limited to the product review on this video. So again, a sincere thank you. Without further ado, let me show you the key features. As usual, let's start with unboxing. We have a retail box without any brand on it. We know that Zoyi or Zoltech make multimeters and oscilloscopes for other brands, so this is a generic box. We have some indications in here. You can see it also on the key features. So let's start by opening it. The multimeter oscilloscope, let's call it scope meter, comes in this case, this bag. It seems to be waterproofed, or, well, drop proof, not totally waterproofed. We have a P2060 60 megahertz probe, but I think this is a 80 megahertz oscilloscope. Yeah, so that's it. We have also a pair of test leads. Yeah. A very nice Zoyi ZT703S multimeter oscilloscope. A user manual. Okay. All in English with color. Very well organized. Yeah. Okay. And also a charging cable. This is USB Type A to USB Type C. Okay, that's it. Let's put this in here and let's do first impressions. Okay, before starting the first impressions, let's take the film out, starting for the small one. Yeah. And now the big. This is so good. It's almost like porn for geeks. Okay, let's move on. And in terms of size, this is, I believe, exactly the same size of the 702. You can notice immediately how much the screen is. We have a much bigger screen. I think they already made the 702 thinking of that, because if you notice, you have this this detail on the edges of this screen. So right now that space was taken by this screen, yeah. But all the rest is basically the same, yeah. Okay, so in terms of the keyboard, it still has these rubber kind keys. Very good to the touch, it will not slip. You still have the 4 sockets for the multimeter, 4 function keys on the top, the button for power, auto range, hold and save, and modes. And this mode key has new functions in this version. On the side, you still have also, let me show you, the output for the probe calibration, also the connector for USB Type-C, the socket, that will allow you to do several operations like charging, retrieving the image, and so on. On the top, we have now 2 and not 1, like in the previous version, probe connectors. So this is a dual channel oscilloscope. On the bottom we don't have nothing, and also the same stand to work on a vertical position. Okay, the finish of the scope meter is the same. It's a plastic, like almost like silicone. It's not so anti-slipper like the silicone, but it will allow you, or it will prevent some, well, accidental slip in a table or something like that. Yeah, it will give you some anti-slippery protection while working. Well, in terms of first impressions, that's it. Let me power this on and see what we have in terms of operation and new features. Now is the time to talk about this video sponsor, PCBWay. I always use PCBWay for creating my boards with a professional factory quality, as you saw in my millivolt voltage reference board. It is very cheap to manufacture your PCBs on PCBWay. You can manufacture 10 PCBs for only $5. How awesome is this? And it is pretty easy also. Just insert here the PCB dimensions and you'll have an instant code. So when you want a PCB, visit PCBWay to get your code, and if it is your first time ordering from PCBWay, you can use our access link for a $5 credit. And don't forget, they also have component assembly service, 3D printing service, and much more. Let's power the oscilloscope on, and here we have it. So what we have here, we have the trigger run status. It will stay run, waiting, or stopped. We have here the horizontal trigger position, or the buffer, while you can navigate through the buffer to see the trigger position. Also the time division. In here we have the rising edge or falling edge with the channel information, and also the trigger voltage. In the corner we have the battery indicator, and in the bottom we have the amplitude for channel 1, for channel 2, and also the function generator output. We have the menu as previously in the other. We have the menu in the bottom also, that is controlled by the function keys. So in the bottom we have volume with the function 1, move with function 2, trigger with function 3, and finally cursor with F4. We have the power button, as you saw, and auto range button, hold and save, and mode. So those have different functions while we are in oscilloscope or multimeter mode, because this is a multimeter also. Okay, right now in oscilloscope it will work as auto button. Okay, and we have the hold save button, so it will work as hold or stop button if you press once while running in oscilloscope, and if you do a long press, it will save the screen to the memory. Okay. In terms of keys, you have also the menu in the bottom. I have to fit everything in the screen, so here in the bottom we have the menu. If you press the menu, it will appear in the bottom the device menu. I believe that we have 6 pages. So in the first page we have the channel 1 selection or channel 2. Okay, for the operations. If the channel is enabled or disabled, I can disable also channel 2. What kind of coupling you will use and in which channel. Right now we are selecting coupling for second channel, as you can see, and also the probe compensation. We can use 1 time or 10 times. This applies always to the selected channel. As you can see, it's changing the value for the selected channel. If you change here, it will change also for the other one. Okay, this is the first page. We use the direction keys to change the menu, the page menu. You have the trigger mode. So in this case, we have auto, normal, or single. As you can see, it changes on the top the trigger indicator. The rising or falling edge, you can see it here changing. And the trigger source. So if you change to channel 2, it will also change here the trigger source and the rising and falling edge. Finally, we have the trigger position. You can change the trigger position to 50%. That will center in the signal. If you change the trigger source, it will bring to the middle of the first channel. Okay, this is the second page, or this, I don't know right now. You can also calibrate the baseline, and in this option, the default, it will do like a factory reset to the default settings. With USB, you can enter the USB mode, so you can connect this to the PC. And finally, with F4, you can change the language. You have only Chinese and English as an option. Moving on to the next menu, you have the auto off time. It can be 30 minutes, 60, 120, or you can disable it. Also 1, 10, and 30. Right now I have the backlight to the minimum, so you can see better the screen, but this can be changed up to 100%. I choose to work with 30%. We have also the run mode. So we have 2 modes for working while observing a signal. We have the normal mode, that is the one that you should use up to 30 megahertz signal. It will consume less power from the batteries and also has a smaller sampling rate with 200 megasamples per second. If you change this to high, like it is right now, it will have a 280 megasamples per second sampling rate, and it will consume a bit more the battery. The high mode, it's the recommended mode if you have frequencies above 30 megahertz and below 50 megahertz. That's the maximum of this device. Let me put this again in normal mode. Okay. And go back again to the menu. It's the 4th page. Also, the version of the device, the serial number and the application number. Yeah. Let me take this out. And finally, you have also the display. So this guy now has XY mode. Now you can do a XY mode display in here. I will show you more ahead in the review how that will look like. And let me go back. You have also the persist with several times available. Let me show you how many. 1 second, 10 seconds, int and min. And also using the persist, you can format the image to the beginning. For last, and also related with the persistence, you have the backlight time. It is right now in 120 seconds. You can turn it off and have 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and I will leave it in the default value that it came. Okay, in this page, that's it. We have the More Apps menu. I will show you just in a bit this one. We have cursors. Right now they are off, but you can have horizontal, vertical, or both cursors. I will have to see how this works, and I will show you also ahead in the video. This is something new also in this device. Let's take the cursors off, and measurements. So right now you can select which measurements you want to see in the screen, like the VPP or the, I don't know, frequency count, and okay, exit, and it will appear here the measurements. You can obviously take them off. It's not the fastest process, but yeah, that's it. And we have the output setting. This is something a little curious because this is a lightweight version of the function generator. You have here the option you select with the menu. You have so the square wave with variable duty cycle. You have the sine wave and the triangle wave, and then you are back to the normal. In this one, you cannot change neither the frequency, neither the VPP or duty cycle. But on the second one, for example, in terms of square wave, you can change these values. Okay, so yeah, this is a very, very basic function generator. The maximum that you can select here in terms of frequency, let me see how this works. Yeah, it's 5 kilohertz. Okay, but if you change, for example, for a sine wave, the maximum will not be the same, I think, or is it? Yeah, it seems that you will be able to go up to 5 kilohertz. So that's nice. Also the VPP and the T cycle, that should be on the other square wave function. Okay, so in terms of output, let's exit this. And we can also come here to the More Apps. In terms of More Apps, you can see that we have slots for expanding the system. So I think that Zoyi is already with their minds in expanding this with more functions. Let's start with image view. We don't have any image in here. So yeah, let's try to get out. We have USB, delete, format, and exit. I want to exit. How do I exit? Menu? USB? Okay. F2. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how do we exit that. I forgot to show you in the USB menu. I told you what it was, but if you press the USB, the screen will show this, and it will appear a new drive on your PC if you are connected with the cable, obviously. Okay, going back, you can use both direction keys to do that, and we can see here again the apps, and we have the function generator also. I will show you this and test this more ahead in the video, also with a more dedicated test. So for that, we can, for example, for the sine wave, and in here we have, I think, 3 more signals, half full and sawtooth wave. And for changing, we have here the F1, F2 for changing the frequency, and the T cycle, it will change in F3 and F4. In this one, I don't see the chance of changing the VPP, only the frequency. So it's a mixed, because on the other one I think we can change also the VPP. Yeah, I will test this more ahead in the video. Right now it's just the operation. Let me get out of here. Mode, activate and deactivate the function generator. And this is very good, but how do we get out of here? Okay, it's the mode key. I think that I covered most of this. Let me see if I missed something. I don't think so. In terms of multimeter, you have here the selector for DC or AC through RMS. Also, you have here for current in this menu to select. You see here, it shows you where to connect your test leads. It's very quick, but it's there. Maybe leave that on the screen a few more seconds, it will be nice. But you can select this. Right now it's on DC. If you select again, it's AC for current. You have two options. And also for current, you have here milliamps. You have the test leads again in the screen for milliamps and for DC and AC. Also available, you have the resistance measurement, continuity, and diode measurement, and finally capacitance. So 4 functions in here. And for the multimeter, that's it. You have the hold to keep the position on holding. There is a little reflection there, but you can see here on the top the hold. Okay, let's take it out and let's see if it saves. And also saves an image, if you like it does on the oscilloscope, if you press it for a while. The auto function in here does not do anything, but you have the range function that will change manually the range of the, as you can see, the decimal point is changing, and also the units in here. Okay, so you can change manually what is the range in terms of ohms or resistance in this case. Okay, the multimeter software is also very quick to show. So in terms of menu, let's see what we have here. We have the language also, like we had on the oscilloscope, also the auto off and the backlight. One very curious thing is the wart off, and this is something very cool. I don't know if I will be able to test this right now because I have so much things to test, but just to let you know, this is a feature that will turn the wart port off, on, if you want to. What this will do is to create a serial port on the signal generator output that you can connect to a computer, for example, to have real-time data from the multimeter, and it updates 3 times per second. So it's a very cool function to have. And I think that's it. We don't have any more menus in this multimeter function. So yeah. So for the bandwidth test, I have here already an output of 100 kilohertz on channel 1 volt VPP. So if it reaches 700 to 720 millivolts, it's the minus 3 dB limit. It's identifying pretty well the 100 kilohertz frequency, so let's start increasing this. Okay, I will move this just to 1 megahertz. Let's do an auto. I think I already said this, but this is pretty annoying. It always is activating the channel 2, even if it is not connected, and right now it's not. Let me show you. Yeah, as you can see, there is only one channel here connected. So I don't know why it's always activating channel 2, because this also interferes with the sampling rate. So I would like to not to have that. I will also activate the run mode in high. Okay, high run mode. It will take a little more of the battery, but I prefer because it will have higher sampling rate. For the test, it's better. Okay, we have, let me check if it's there in high mode, and we are with 1 volt VPP and a frequency of 1 megahertz. Perfect signal, stable, the sine wave is well drawn. Let's start increasing this to 10 megahertz. Okay, in 10 megahertz, let's do a auto range. Well, the sine wave has a little deformation, nothing serious, but the VPP is still, well, 900 millivolts, very well, and it detects also well the frequency. Okay, moving on to 25 megahertz, this should be half of the frequency of the bandwidth that this device is able to process. Let me do an auto again. And as you can see, every time I do an auto, he activates the second channel. I should say again that this is pretty annoying. Okay, so we have 820 millivolts, still good, and a 25 megahertz frequency. The sine wave is also good. It has a bit jitter, but nothing serious. We are now at 25 nanoseconds in time division. Okay, seems good. And I will take this all the way up to 50 megahertz. This is the maximum. We never should use the oscilloscope at the maximum bandwidth. Let's see what happens. Okay, and this is not good. So in terms of VPP, we have 1.2, 1. Yeah, this is, we cannot trust this. And it detects about, it's floating, but 50, 38. Yeah, it should be because of all this interference. Let me take this manually down. Okay, you can see on the screen that I will now decrease the frequency until we have a good signal, and I think that we can stabilize at the 46 megahertz, not 50 but 46. 900, yeah, 900 millivolts, sorry, 980 millivolts and 46 megahertz. Well, the signal, the sine wave, it's not very well drawn. It's pushing a bit to the left, but it's stable, even with 2 channels. Let me take down the second channel. Yeah, let me see if with the second channel off I can increase this. No, I cannot. And what happens if I pass the 50? Yeah, that will not work also. Well, we have here 60 megahertz, 1.4. No, this is nonsense. Okay, so 46 seems to be the maximum. Yeah, 47, it will start jumping around. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so 47, it starts jumping around, and the maximum seems to be around the, yeah, 46 megahertz. Okay, not bad. Let's test with a square wave. Okay, I will take the square wave back to 1 megahertz. Let me just change to square wave. And do an auto, remove the channel, the second channel. Okay. Well, 1 megahertz seems to be, yeah, it has already some roundness in the corners, but yeah, it seems to be okay. In terms of VPP, we have 980 millivolts, 1 megahertz detected. Not bad. I will increase manually. Let me take this out of the screen. Yeah, not this one, this. Still good at 3 megahertz. It's not detecting 3 megahertz here. Maybe it might be something. Yeah, with an auto it will detect 3 megahertz. Again, second channel has to be turned off, and yeah, we have small deformations, but still a good signal. Let's take it to 5 megahertz. Okay, 4, 5. Well, it's on 5. It will not update when I do it manually. It will not update here correctly. Let's do an auto range. Right now I'm in 5 megahertz and it's detecting 4. Okay, let me increase just a bit more to see what happens. Let me take to 10 megahertz. Okay, it's detecting, taking a little more to detect, channel 2 off. In terms of frequency, it's detecting pretty well. 1 volt, 980 VPP. Well, the signal, as you can see, it starts to be deformed. Let's take to 20 megahertz. Okay, now we are in problems in here. Take this out of the way. So we are starting to have 1 point something VPP. This shouldn't happen. This should be always decrease, not increase. So yeah, when this happens, I kind of start to be suspicious. But it detects frequency of 20 megahertz without problems. It's jumping a bit the signal. Obviously, the square wave does not exist anymore. Just for fun, let me take this to 25. Let's take to the 40 megahertz. We already know that 50 with no, my function generator is only able, I forgot, to take a maximum of 30 megahertz. Let's do an auto again. So 1.2 and 30 megahertz. At least it detects the frequency. Obviously, this for me is very suspicious. Let me take this out. Yeah, the signal, yeah, doesn't matter. It's totally nonsense. Okay, so again to 1 megahertz, and let's try to see how it handles a triangle wave. Okay, seems good. We have also, here's one that I always like to test. Let's see how it does. Okay, I have to put this with a lower bandwidth, like 100 kilohertz. Let's see what we have in here, if we are able to draw. Okay, getting there. I need to move the trigger, and yeah, not the most perfect one that I've seen, but yeah, it's able to draw it. Okay, that's it in terms of bandwidth. I hope that you like it. Let's move on. For the XY mode, I'm already outputting 2 signals of 1 megahertz each. I'm going to use the second channel to produce the animation. So let's activate here the XY mode. We go to the left 2 times, and then we have here on the first button, F1, display. Okay, as you can see, the signal is already centered on the screen. And now I will activate the rotation of this line in the screen. It seems that it is just a line, but it's not. For that, I will move the cursor 6 digits to the right, and now I will increase like this. Let's take it to 5 to be stable. Okay, and we have rotation. If you want to add a few more high points on the Y axis, just increase the frequency and for each megahertz, as you can see, you will have one peak. Let me show you. For example, now we are at 4 megahertz. Let me take this out of the screen. And let's solve it. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's increase to 5. Not good. Not good also. Yeah, this will be okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peaks. So as you can see, it's easy to control that. And also, if you want to speed up the rotation, just use the other digit on the left. And yeah, we have it. Let me try to increase the amplitude. No, not this. This one. Yeah, too much. Yeah. For this, I use the 5 volts VPP with 1 megahertz. And yeah, it's rotating. Let me try to take some of these high peaks. Okay. And that's it. We have here the XY mode. It seems to work pretty well. Let me just take this. Okay, we have amplitude of channel 2 increased. And again, of channel 1, but it's too big. Okay, so here it is. I hope that you enjoyed. Let's move on. Still with 1 megahertz sine wave, as you can see. I will now show you the cursors. Okay, for working with the cursors, you activate again the menu, go to the left, and you have here on F2 option the cursors. You can activate the horizontal, the vertical, or both. Okay. For using this, let's take the menu out of the screen, and using the F4, the cursor, you are now able to select which which line you want to move. Right now, the selected one is the top horizontal. Let's bring it down a bit. Too much. Okay, I want it here. As you can see, when we change the delta, also change the delta for the amplitude. And if you press cursor again, now you are able to select the bottom line. Okay, the bottom cursor. Again, pressing cursor will allow you to select the left vertical cursor. Let's take it like 10%, yeah, like this, or just in the bottom. Yeah, this is good. And again, cursor will allow you to select the other right cursor. Okay, then we have here the time division between the two vertical ones, and the delta also between the amplitude. That's it. Pretty easy to use. If you want to take it out again, go to the left and cursor, and it's out of the screen. Okay, that's it. I still have 1 megahertz sine wave in the screen. Let me take it out now. So what I will show you now is the measures. So for measures, you go again to the menu, go to the left, and is the F3 option. In terms of measures, it's pretty easy to use. You have the up and down to select which measurement you want. I will activate the frequency because it will be needed, and also in channel 2 the frequency also. I believe I have the same frequency in both channels, but you have several options like duty cycle, RMS, the function counter, Vmin and Vmax. Okay, that's it. To change between channel 1 and channel 2, just use the direction keys. You have on the screen the indication, so it's easy. Exit in F3, and right now you have both. Let me do an auto. Activate channel 2. It will be best if I do that. and you have there the frequency of both channels and the VPP. Let me check just if I deactivate one of the channels. Yeah, millivolt, it's the same. Okay, nothing much. If you want more measurements, just activate, and let's move on. So in terms of persistency, we have the option to activate that. So we use to the left, and if you come here to the persist option, it is right now, it was in 500 milliseconds. Right now it's in minimum. I will activate the sweep on my function generator. Yeah, change the time division. Now let's go again to the persist. Okay, and 500 milliseconds. You have already a little shadow in the background, and you can activate 1 second. It stays a bit longer in the screen, and you have 10 seconds also. You can see exactly the difference, and forever with int option. And with this one, it will never go away the background of the signal. Okay, that's it in terms of persistence. If you put in minimum, you will have it without the persistence. Okay, so in terms of the signal output, we have two options in this device. Let's first start with the most basic one. Let's take it to not here, not here, output. Okay, so we have here the output where we can set up the settings. You see that is right now with the 5 kilohertz square wave, and in this one we can set up some of the values like the VPP. You have the option to do 2.5 or 1 volt VPP. Okay, you already notice in the function generator that it changed the amplitude. And let's do again 2.5 volts, like this. Okay. I don't think, we only have those two options. Right now it's again with 2.5 volts. And you can also, in this particular square wave, you can also change the amplitude, the duty cycle. Okay, it's reflected on the screen. Yep. And the options are quite limited, 90%, 75, 50, 25, and that's it, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So, and the maximum frequency of this square wave is 5 kilohertz. You can also change to a sine wave, like this. On the sine wave, you have the chance to change the VPP, but only that. Obviously, the duty cycle is fixed, and also the bandwidth. The bandwidth, it's kind of fixed values. You have 2 kilohertz, 1 kilohertz, 500 hertz, 150, and 10 hertz, I believe, and go again to 5 kilohertz. So it's fixed values, and that's mainly it. And for last, you have the triangle and the fixed square wave. For this one, you have a fixed value. You cannot change anything in here. Let me see. Yeah, you cannot change anything. Now, this is the first option that you have for function generator, and this is always outputting. It does not matter what you do, it's always outputting the signal. You cannot turn it on or off, it's always outputting. So if we exit this one and enter here in more apps, we have also this generator icon, and as you can see, this one is a bit different. Let me do an auto. Okay, So what is going on here? For this one, you have a few more waveforms. Well, you have the sine, the square wave, the triangular. That's the same that we had before, but you also have the half wave, full wave, and sawtooth. Sometimes we need to do it auto for this. Yeah. It's not very stable. But okay. How does this work? Let me take you back to the sine wave. You have here the frequency and the plus frequency and minus frequency, plus duty cycle and minus duty cycle. One thing that you don't have is the chance to change the VPP. So the VPP is always fixed in this mode to 2.5 volts, and we can change only the frequency in this case. Okay, and you have to be there pressing always to change it. Let me take to the maximum frequency, and the maximum frequency is 344 kilohertz. This is the maximum you can have on this sine wave. If you change to square wave, I don't know if you can. Let me try to increase the. Yeah, you can go up to 500 kilohertz in sine wave, and in this one you can change also the duty cycle, as you can see on the screen. Okay, and let's do a triangular wave, and in this one the maximum frequency is 100 kilohertz. You can, yeah, like this. Half wave. Half wave, it's also 100. No, sorry. Let me take 129 kilohertz in half wave maximum. I have to say I don't understand these values. Why these values? It's a mystery to me. Full wave can go up to 294 kilohertz, and sawtooth, I believe it's the maximum is 100 kilohertz. Okay, to activate and deactivate the signal, in this one you can select on off. Okay, you see on the top the identifier, and basically that's it in terms of signal output. Now is the time to test the multimeter functions. I will start with the DC voltage measurement. I have my setup already in place. You on the right have my DC voltage calibrator, and on the left we have my SigGen SDM3045X and also the ZT703. And without further ado, let's start. We will start with 1 volt. Okay. We have a small difference of like 5 digits, more or less. Not significant. Okay, 2 volts, 3 volts, 4 volts, 5 volts, 6 volts, 7 volts. It seems pretty accurate, spot on. 8 volts, 9 volts, and we are back to 0. Okay, going down, we are now with 100 millivolts. Yeah, we can change also the range in here. Okay, much better. Well, it's the same, but 100 millivolts, 200, 300. Okay, we have to go back to the range in DC. Okay, 300 millivolts, 400, 500 millivolts, 600, 700, 800, 900, and even if the values are not exactly the same, the 5 digits difference maintains all over the measurements. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. Going back to 0, let's move to 10 millivolts. Okay, and in this one we can use the millivolts range. So 10 millivolts, 20 millivolts, 30 millivolts, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90 millivolts. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, going down again to 1 millivolt. Whoa, spot on with the other one. 3 millivolts, 4 millivolts, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's pass to microvolts. Okay, let's see how it goes. Yeah, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Yeah, it seems to be more or less the same. 600, 700, 800. Okay, almost there. 900. And we are done. That's it in terms of DC voltage testing. Okay, to test the AC voltage measurement, I have here my power socket. Connected between them is the SigGen and also the ZT703. Let me carefully insert my test leads in the socket, okay, in this corner, and the positive one. So we are having a reading of 235 on the SigGen. It's more or less what we have here in the zone where I live. It's correcting to 136, 7. And on the ZT we have a red reading to warn you about the power. And it's reading around 237 volts. Well, it's a small difference. I take it as good. Yeah. Okay, that's it. For resistance, I will use these precision resistor reference boards. I will start with the first one, that is a 10 ohms resistor. Yeah, it will work better if I put this in resistance. Yeah, like this. So again, 10 ohms. Ooh, pretty good. 100.03 ohms. 100. Okay, it's a bit lower. Let me see directly on the resistor. Yeah, around 100 also, not bad. Let's go with this one. This one is 1K.0003. The resolution in this is pretty good. 25,000 counts gives you 4 decimal digits. Very nice. So this one is 9.995 K. Oh, almost spot on. Oh, awesome accuracy. And this is 100.05, I believe, or 06. I need new glasses. Okay, 100.01K. Whoa, very nice. Let me check this really fast. So we have 10 ohms again. Yeah, 100.06. Almost spot on. this one is 9, it's 1K, but 9998.9998. Okay. This one is 10K. Very nice. And the last one is 100K. It says it's 99 point something. 0.98 or 99. Really good. Okay, that's it. For capacitance, let's go again, use these boards. We have on the first board 102 picofarads. Let's try. Okay, 97 picofarads. The second one, it's 1.02 nanofarads. Whoa, really near. 10.40 something nanofarads. Yeah, 10.53. This is 98.7 nanofarads. 101. Okay, it's near. This one always gives very strange values, but it is 929 nanofarads. 890. This is, well, more or less in line with the previous measurements that I did on other oscilloscope or other multimeters. And the last one is 10 microfarads. Let me see. This is okay, 10 microfarads. Okay, let's do a second round so we are sure of this. This is 99 picofarads. 96, pretty close. 98.2 picofarads also. Okay. 10.1 nanofarads. Also good. 100 nanofarads. 101. This is 952. Yeah, a bit off. That's the one that always has different measurements. And 9.80 microfarads. Let's see. Also a bit off, but nothing serious. Okay, that's it in terms of capacitance. Let's now test the continuity test. Let's see. Whoa, it seems pretty fast. It takes about 1 second, 1.5 seconds to update the screen, but the sound is almost immediate. and it is also pretty loud. Let's see the time to update the screen. It's 1 second, more or less 1.5. Seems pretty good. Okay, that's it. For diode measurement, I have already here some samples. Let's start with these diodes. It shouldn't read anything like this because it's reversed, and it should give around 600, 590 millivolts of gain. That's correct. Let's start with this one. It should give around 1.7, totally correct. Also, it lights up. And also 1.7, this smaller one. And we should have around 2.6, I believe, or 7 in this one. Yes, with the good lights, also powers up. Let's do it in reverse. Nothing happens, everything is cool. For testing the milliamps reading, I will use my SG004A from FNIRSI. And let's start by outputting a milliamp signal. Okay, 1 milliamp, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pretty near, almost spot on. Let's take it to 10 milliamps. Okay, almost there, not bad. 15 milliamps. The difference is getting bigger as we go up in the milliamps. Let's take it to 20. Okay, almost there also. If you round it, it is 20 milliamps. And the maximum is 24 milliamps of this device. So we have 23.9899, almost there also. So also good for me. Okay, now let's do a firmware upgrade. I'm having some issues with auto and some other stuff. So let's see what is my current, let's go, my current version. So I have the 1.3.0 in terms of application. And what we will do now is get out of here and go to USB. First of all, we open this small hatch here and connect a cable to the multimeter or scope meter. You have already the light saying that is being powered on by the USB cable. Now let's activate the USB. When you activate the USB, you see this on the screen. It appears on the computer a new flash. Let's open it. If you notice, in this new flash drive, you have here the firmware folder, but you have also the PIC folder, where you can, for example, see the pictures that were taken. It has a very small format, so not a big quality on this. Let's go back. You have also the log for logging, I think, but I don't see it yet, any log application, and the application itself is also clean. So what I will do, and I don't have indications on the manual for this, but it is the normal, I will copy the last firmware file that I got from Zoyi website to this folder. Okay. That's it. And now I will exit, and it detected the file, and it's already upgrading the Zoyi scope meter. Okay, let's let him end. Okay, it seems that it worked. Very nice. So let me disconnect the USB cable. Yeah, like this. And let's check if the auto works faster. Yeah, it seems to work faster. So at least that part seems to be resolved with the firmware upgrade. Okay. Let's wrap this review, and once more I will start with the price. It's being sold on AliExpress official Zoyi shop or store for 73 euros or around $78 for the package with one probe, and 77 euros or around $83 for the package with two probes. Considering the other offers in the market for these scope meter devices, it is a nice price, considering also the end quality and features available. Entering more in the specifics, the case is very good. It's ergonomic and fits very well on your hand. It was already, in my opinion, very good on the ZT702S, so same case on the ZT703S. Same opinion, same case. It should be good also. The display upgrade from 2.4 to 3.5 inches makes a lot of difference, and you have much better view of what is happening in the screen. Having two channels is very good, and as it is having 50 MHz analog bandwidth support and also higher sampling rate. The only thing that triggers me is the second channel being activated every time you do an auto set, even without anything connected to the plug. The addition of cursors, selectable measurements, persistence, function generator, just to cover a few, are all good news and very well welcome. It really put this device pair-to-pair with some of the competition devices on the market. The overall experience was good. I think that issue with this second channel might be corrected with a simple firmware upgrade, and during the recording I made two upgrades of firmware that solve already some issues that I detected. So if you liked what you watch and you are considering to buy one, please consider also sponsoring the channel by using the affiliate access links on the screen or in the video description to access AliExpress or Amazon on your purchase process. You'll pay exactly the same, but will become a channel sponsor, and it will help me producing these videos. All money gathered will be invested in the channel, and I have a few videos being produced of new test equipment to create more accurate reviews. Stay tuned. If this review was in any way useful to you, please smash that like button, and let me tell you that if you are not subscribed, you may be missing really cool devices that arrive to the market and that I every week review in this channel. That's it for today. Thank you for staying around with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Stay safe.